So Mizuno have brought out some putters, and it's the first putters they've brought out in over 10 years. And I was going to do a normal putter review, but then it got me thinking. So as you know, Mizuno irons are super popular. You'll see Mizuno irons in bags of golfers all around the world. But also Mizuno make golf ball, drivers, wedges, and now even putters. I don't think I've ever seen a single golfer play with a Mizuno golf ball. So it got me thinking, well, why don't I build a full bag of Mizuno clubs and take them out on the course? So why am I taking a full set of Mizuno clubs plus the golf ball out on the course? Well, I've got a few questions. Is the new Mizuno ball as good as the Pro V1? Are Mizuno irons overrated? And should more golfers try the Mizuno driver? And lastly, what are the pros and cons of playing with a full set and ball from just one brand? So what's in the bag, Mizuno style? What did I take out on the golf course? Well, golf ball first off. I took out the Mizuno RB Tour, which is equivalent to, let's say, a Pro V1. The putter I took out was the new M Craft number 2 in this blue edition. Wedges, I took out the T20 in 4 different lofts in 3 different finishes, and the irons, the super popular MP20s. But I did a combo set where I took the more forgiving irons in the long irons, more down into the blade for the shorter irons. 3-wood ST190 because I really like the shape of that 3-wood, and I took out the brand new ST200 driver. So let's kick things off with the golf ball first, because I bet many of you watching didn't even know Mizuno made a golf ball. As I said at the start of the video, it would come as a shock if someone teed up on the first hole using a Mizuno ball, it really would. So the ball I've tested was this, the Mizuno RB Tour, at roughly £40 a dozen. The spec is similar to, let's say, a Pro V1 or a TP5. So performance on this golf ball. Around the green, it felt really good. Soft cover and felt like it spun a lot. On iron shots and driver shots, it felt fairly fast, which was good, positive. As a negative, I just didn't think it was very good in the wind. And it was a particularly windy day. Now, compared to, let's say, a Pro V1 or a TP5, I feel like those balls are much more stable compared to this Mizuno ball. Overall, it was okay. But I can't see why someone would swap from a Pro V1 to play with a Mizuno ball. It wouldn't be a Rick Shiels video if I didn't chop this in half, because it claims to be a 4-piece ball. Let's see what's inside the Mizuno ball. And I've got a glimpse already. Very Mizuno colours, blue and kind of grey and black. 4-piece, looks quite similar to, let's say, a TP5. Yeah, not sure what else I expected, but that is the inside of a Mizuno golf ball. So next we move on to the wedges, the T20 wedges. I had 4 in the bag, a 46 degree, like a pitching wedge, a blue 52 degree gap wedge, 56 degree sand wedge, and a 60 degree lob wedge in the raw finish. Now, I've tested Mizuno wedges on the channel in the past, and as much as they've never blown me away, they've always been very solid performing wedges. The T20 wasn't much difference. Shots around the green felt fantastic. The spin that I got on the control was exactly what I want. Versatility from shots, let's say in the bunker, or tricky little shots when I had to hit them high, was spot on. Wear and tear, I thought was pretty good on the wedges too. The one that I had slightly concerns about was the blue finish. As much as maybe it's not my popular choice, actually sat behind the ball, it looks pretty decent. It looks better than expected, and the finish did really well as well. It didn't kind of rub off or get scratched too much. So overall, performance of the T20 was spot on, exactly what I'd like to see from a wedge. So got me thinking, why do I not see as many requests to review Mizuno wedges? I feel like the comments I get more about Vokey wedges or TaylorMade or Cleveland wedges. Nobody really asks about Mizuno wedges. Is that plain and simple the difference in marketing? Because for me, testing those wedges, the performance is just as similar to a Vokey or a Cleveland wedge. So this comes back to one of the questions I had at the start of the video. Are Mizuno irons overrated? Well, I took them out on the golf course to give them a test. In the bag, I had the new MP20s. I had the more forgiving model in the longer irons, the HMB. I had the MMC in the middle irons, and then the Blade MP20 in the shorter irons. And give them a good test. I've got to say, performance of the irons is class. What you'd exactly expect from Mizuno. They feel superb. The flight you get from the irons is fantastic. Now in this kind of HMB, this more forgiving model, it does actually offer some forgiveness. But then moving down into the blades, it's what you want a blade to do. It looks incredible, possibly one of the most beautiful irons I've seen. Performance, exactly what you want. You want control, you want consistency of distance. For me, the Mizuno lineup is almost as good as you can get iron sets. It's absolutely spot on. Are Mizuno irons overrated? No, I honestly don't think they are. I did a test last year where I got some golfers to blind test irons to see which one they felt was the best, and Mizuno won that. You match that with great performance and you've kind of got a winning combination with irons. So now we move into the big boy, the driver, the Mizuno driver lineup. The new ones are the ST200s. There's 3 models. The standard, there's a G which has the 2 weights, and then there's an X which is the ultimate forgiveness model. I took out the standard version because it's the one that suited me the best. At a price point of £300, which is considerably cheaper than a lot of drivers out there. Off the bat, the performance was pretty solid. I had time to stand on a clear tee and hit multiple shots with the driver. And you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it. For me, the flight was good. I felt like it offered forgiveness. I think the driver looks good behind the ball. My only personal downside on it, don't like the sound of it. It's a little bit too kind of tingy, a little bit tinny. I prefer slightly deader, more carbon sound with the driver. That's just more personal preference. I also tested the driver on GC Quad to see what the performance looked like. The performance was exactly what I'd expect to see from any major brand. For me, I was carrying it on average about 280 odd yards, ball speed of 162, and a really good spin rate. The performance matched up to what I was seeing when I enjoyed hitting those tee shots on that quiet tee. For me, the performance was just as good as TaylorMade's, Callaway's flagship lineup from this year. So should more people be trying the Mizuno driver? Well, yeah, maybe they should. I mean, it looks good. It's got lots of options. It's £300, which is considerably cheaper than a lot of drivers out there. And as I saw, bar the sound, as I mentioned, for me, the performance was just as good as the major brands, the Callaway and Titleist and Pings and TaylorMades. The Mizuno driver really impressed me, and it might be one you should be looking to try a little bit more. So far, so good. I feel like I've been fairly positive with what I've talked about so far. From the golf ball, is it as good as the Pro V1? Possibly not, but it's not a bad ball. Are the wedges good? Very good. Are the irons overrated? Not particularly. And should more people try the driver? Yeah, they should. But then it comes down to the putter, the new putter lineup. Now, it's been 10 years, over 10 years since Mizuno brought out a putter. A little bit of backstory. Once upon a time, they had Scotty Cameron making putters for Mizuno. They had Bettinardi making putters for Mizuno. But this time they've gone on their own and brought out a new lineup, the M Craft. Now, there's a few models, and I tested all models before taking them out on the golf course. But the one that caught my attention, the one that I wanted to test out on the course, was this one, the M Craft 2. Very classic, blade-looking shape. Blue finish, yes, but I can kind of look past that. Mizuno putter, are they any good? Oh, I really struggled with it. It's £250 for the putter, and I've got to be honest, it felt less premium than that. When I've tested putters from other brands at that price point, the overall feel of the putter is better. The feel of this M Craft 2 putter, for me, was not great. It felt flimsy, it felt a little bit less premium than I'd want it to do. Considering Mizuno make such amazing feeling irons, I fully expected to take the putter on the golf course and it to feel just as good. And I was severely let down, which is a real shame. So for me, considering this is the first putter they brought out for 10 years, I was less than impressed. Are they going to get any better? We'll have to wait and see. Or maybe should they not have bothered bringing out a new putter? Because this one just wasn't great. So overall, what's it like playing golf using all the equipment from one brand? Well, the positive, and if I'm honest, it might be the only positive, is everything looks great in your bag. Everything's all the same colorways, everything looks nice and tidy. With this certain brand, everything was Mizuno with the running bird. It looked really good. So the negatives. No brand can be the best in every category. It's just impossible to do so. You'll only ever see two types of golfers using full brands. Super fans, who are die-hard to that particular brand, or sponsored golfers who get paid so they have to use everything from that brand. For me, I will never accept money for golf clubs or golf ball. I'll always stay impartial and therefore will always use a mixed bag of clubs. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, lots more to come. We'll see you next time.